Good afternoon, folks. This is Jeff. This week with JTT live. And as Cody Rose was saying, what do you want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about politics, in particular, poverty. And trust me, I understand that better than most. I know what it's like growing up struggling and had to make ends meet, best way you can. It's not easy. Never has, never will be easy. Now we could talk about, for example, like I saw something on Facebook and someone said like, well, the red states are doing badly and all that stuff, they're in poverty, but they keep electing the same politicians and keeping this state over and over again. And the reality is like, whether you're red or blue, if you keep electing politicians who are not exactly doing too good a job, to bring up your standard of living, or the poverty level stay the same, get worse, that's more the fault of the voters. You got to make sure you vote for the person who's going to make sure they do more of it as talk to talk. You got to find somebody with a proven track record who will get this country up and going again. Plain and simple, no excuses. But they make it sound like it's a red state problem, and that's not the case. But let's define what is poverty rate by state 2024. And this is what it says here, according to, I'm looking at the site correctly, it's called World Population Review. And I'll look at this I should make sure I read this chart correctly. This is population below poverty level. And I'm going like, wow, could be quite a bit. And this is what I'm reading right now. This is what it says here for starters in terms of the poverty rate. Poverty is defined as not having enough income to meet basic needs. This goes beyond just not having enough money for a new vehicle, smartphone, or take a vacation, which is true. But these days, smartphones, they give it away, and it's very cheap. The government phones, what have you not. Vehicles, you go to auctions. Believe it or not, if you know your way around a car, you go to a junkyard and put a car together if you have to. I know people who have bought cars for $500. Know some people who are like who are mechanics, got the car up and running, make it street legal, boom, they got a car. It's not the best car, but it gets you from point A to point B to work, etc. Or take a vacation. It depends where you live at too. If you live in Johnstown, if you're a hunter, you're fine. If you love to hunt, fish, hike, whatever, you're fine. If you live like in parts of Pennsylvania, though, unless you live like somewhere like in, like I say, like I try to think, like real rough neighborhoods, like Philly and all them, or other parts of Pennsylvania like has a bad neighborhoods, but otherwise turns like more like state forest areas and all that stuff. Because where I live in Johnstown, if you go like maybe like less than an hour either direction, you will run into some type of state park. So if you're like a person who don't mind hiking, fishing, hunting, all that stuff, you're fine. It depends where you're at, plain and simple. But it goes beyond that. Instead, people who live in poverty struggle to keep a roof over their heads, put food on the table, even purchase basic items like clothing, shoes, and hygiene items. Now, that's bad. Now, poverty may be a variety of reasons, including inability of households to own or limited access to education, leading to, whoa, okay, I didn't know that. Inability to education. That kind of shocking to me. That's kind of shocking to me. Employment, that's another one. The inability of households to own property, which is sad, limited or no access to education, leading to fewer job opportunities. That's very true too. Like, I'd encourage anybody who has a kid, make sure they're behind, not just go to school, but study hard, get good grades. You don't have to be no genius, you don't have to be no valedictorian, but get good grades, like preferably like about from lowest 75 to like say to at least like 90, 95. It's hard to get like perfect grades 24 every time. It's hard. It's really, really hard. It can be done. It's achievable. I know people who study all their lives had up perfect grades. I hear horror stories where kids get like say less for the perfect score to get punished. That's terrifying. That's studying under pressure. But here's the thing: limited or no access to education leading to fewer job opportunities, which is very true. I mean, people should be able to to be able to learn some basic skills in life. But the sad thing is, like, I remember in high school, they have an auto shop where they teach you a way to run a car. That's my biggest regret. I should have took auto shop myself so I know something about cars, because there are jobs that, you know, that help you how to deal with vehicles, not just regular cars, maybe possible military vehicles and all that stuff. You need any basic mechanic knowledge, you'd be surprised what doors opportunity be open up. Inherited poverty, that's sad but true too. There's stories about people who've been in poverty for generations, which is very sad. And many people fought hard and studied hard to get out of that, you know, that generational curse in that sense. Because poverty could be inherited and you gotta fight hard to break the generational curse. What it goes on to say? Systemic exclusion of racial ethnic minorities with, okay, racism. Well, here's the thing though. There was a time, like say, during, like say, like before the 60s and all that, like racism was even way worse. Like, don't get me wrong, race relations has improved since then, but we nowhere near where it's supposed to be. But it's way worse back then, like say, in this in the 50s and older and all that stuff. Now we got we have the opportunity if we look hard enough and work hard enough, you'd be surprised what doors will open for us if we try hard. Don't worry, folks, I get to the point soon. Okay, fight to reduce poverty. To fight to reduce poverty, it's an ongoing battle that cannot happen overnight. That is true. Some solutions proposed through years for increased employment, of course, raising wages, of course, which the minimum rate is $7.25 an hour, coming out just $15,080 for a full-time job. Okay, keyword minimum wage job. It depends where. It's the first job you start off with, and once you get experience, gain experience, then you go to another job that pays you more. People think that there's some people, politicians think, well, you should get paid like $20 an hour, minimum wage. Doing what though? If you're working for the government and you have some experience and all that, for the first, like say you work for the government for the first time and got experience, yeah, your first minimum wage work as a government worker should be higher if you have the experience. If you have zero experience, that's a key thing. If you have zero experience, you got to start somewhere. And we get the experience and all that stuff, then you get paid more money. You can't be like, he's popping like, okay, I just came in for the first time with no experience, give me $20 an hour. Yeah. You better have a unique talent to warrant you getting paid that type of money right off the bat immediately, because not everybody get paid like that high wage. There's reason for it. Like say in McDonald's, the minimum wage, like say, is $20 an hour. The good news, like say, McDonald's will hire you, but it'd be a limited amount of people. You know what they're doing lately in places like McDonald's? They got kiosk places. Basically, instead of like, you know, like say cash registers, you go to kiosks, those kiosk machines, like almost like vending machines. You can type in your orders and all that stuff. You can pay for that, show the receipt, and be careful, folks. They may have a machine that can actually make your food. I just saw a machine that can make you a hamburger. I'm gonna try to find a machine. It's in New Jersey, and I'm gonna try to go to the machine, but it's gonna get to a point to where instead of you have a person prepare the food for you, it'd be a machine. And right now, people thinking like it's not serious. Yes, trust me. If it gets to a point where people demand higher wages, let's say from McDonald's, be warned, you're gonna be replaced by a machine. These days are coming, and they're coming up fast. Raising wages, yeah, I'll talk about that. Reform the prison system. That's true too. First-time offenders, like first-time drug offenders, they should be like, they should not be spending like about tons of years in prison and all that. And something like, kind of like, you know, with some weed and all that, like a misdemeanor and all that stuff, you should spend a lengthy time in prison. Because you put in prison too long, you probably lose your house, your car, your source of employment, you know. Strengthen the existing unemployment insurance. Got food stamps and other services, which is true. Invest in high quality education for all, which is true. Tackle inequities in the system and educational system, higher education institutions. In other words, colleges. Okay, folks, I gotta be real there. There are a lot of blue collar jobs, but it does pay six figures. All you gotta do is get your foot in the door and go from there. There's some jobs that can help you. There's some jobs that can lead you to getting paid six figures, but some jobs that do not. You gotta pick what blue collar job that pays six figures and get ready to work it behind them. Because you're not gonna just go walk in a blue collar job and say, hey, pay me the salary. Nope, you gotta start from this position, work it behind off. When you get to that position, boom, prepare to study and work it behind it. It's gonna be a lot of hands-on stuff with blue collar jobs. And this is what it says right here: poverty by U.S. state. Fortunately, the U.S. poverty rate is declining. However, the poverty is still a significant problem across the country, which is fact. Right now, we are not doing all that great, folks. Let's just face facts. People sound like, that, we are like doing great like the roaring 20s, and we're nowhere near like the roaring 20s. Like 100 years ago, I mean, literally 100 years ago, we was doing way better, I believe, than we're doing right now. In fact, let me check to confirm that instead of me flapping my gums about it. Hold on a moment. Let me go to Copilot. Copilot is like the everyday companion on my on the laptop on right now. When was the last time the United States had the best economy 100 years ago? Let me answer. Okay, so mind you, folks, back in 1920s, we were so quick to ship our jobs across the seas. That's the big thing. Because back then, in terms of we like what the main producers of products. Remember, American made. We took pride in that. Before when shipping like becomes such a global, a big deal and all that stuff, we mostly made our stuff here. We wasn't importing stuff like crazy. We was exporting stuff, and yet people was making money. Once upon a time, they kill yourself to buy a house. You had to wait 30 years to pay off a house. You could pay off a house like about maybe 5-10 years and all that stuff. Nowhere near like 30 years and plus, all the way to like your great grandkid could pay off the house. Now it would take a long time to pay off the house. The only way you can pay off the house quicker, unless you put an insane down payment in the house, then you have a shot at paying off the house quicker than normal. But let me ask you this other question here. When was the last time the U.S. economy was really doing good? I remember, yes. Yeah, I remember that. And if I'm correct, Bill Clinton was president back then. During that time, if I'm correct, I think it was Bill Clinton. And like I said, I remember those era. That was pretty good. I have to confess. A lot of people saying like Bill Clinton. If I'm correct, when Bill Clinton left the office in the United States, and if the report is accurate, he had over $300 billion surplus in the U.S. government. I think that was impressive. Now, unfortunately, G.W. Bush came in, and not if I want to rehash things, let's say the 21st century was rough, and we haven't been the same since. I know people say like, well, Republicans did this, Democrats did that. Bottom line, back, during that time of 1995 to 2000, the economy was doing good. But, Then you got, around after 2000, things got a little crazy and complicated, plain and simple. My point in all of this is that it's not just a red problem. You make it sound like, well, only the red states are in poverty, only the red states are struggling economically. No, I beg to differ. Everybody is struggling. Everybody is struggling like crazy to try to get their lives, better economically. So let's start off by state. Now, Puerto Rico's not a state yet. I say it's gonna come a time when people say, let's stop fooling around. Let's just make Puerto Rico the 51st state. I see that happening down the line. Now, you got Puerto Rico, the population is over 3 million people. Population under poverty line, which is over 1,400,000. That's a lot. That's almost half. Oh my word, that's almost half. Poverty rate, 43.4. So basically almost half the population is under the poverty line. That is sad. That is really sad. I've been to Puerto Rico twice. Like, it's a great island and all. It's great, but they have problems. I mean, the politicians really got to get this stuff together. They really got to do to help these people. Now, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to me to say where they fall politically and all that. But out of curiosity, though, I'm gonna ask this question. I have to ask. When it comes to politics, what political party does Puerto Rico fall under? I'm gonna ask this question. Yeah, they can't answer that one. Okay, and we're not surprised. What political affiliation that Puerto Rico's under? I'm asking the AI. That's what Cole said. I know elections are an incredibly important topic, but they're not stuff I could talk about. Now, you know that's bad for the AI. Don't want to talk about politics. That is bad. That is bad. That is some bad. That's kind of rough, though. Okay. I gotta leave that alone there for a moment. Start with Mississippi. Mississippi, population of over 2 million people, 2,883,000 people. Population over 564,000 people, which equals to 19% below poverty. Now, Mississippi, though, let's see. Is the state of Mississippi, hold on a second, ask the AI. Is Mississippi under a Democratic or Republican governor? Who's the governor of Mississippi? That's another question. I'm gonna say he's Republican. Let's see. Out of curiosity. My mission, yeah. I know. I make sure I get the person's information correct before I say a word. Heaven forbid, when people say, Jeff, what are you talk about? See. So basically, Mississippi is taking the right lean Republican. And keep in mind, back then, you know, for the civil rights era was really came to bear on that state. It's a bad time to be a black man down in Mississippi. Real bad time. And this is Tate Reeves. Is Tate Reeves Republican or Democrat? I just want to get a definite answer here. Once again, you know what? Ask again. Is Governor Tate Reeves Republican or Democrat? Okay, ask him again. Yeah, I've almost positive that he's Republican. For some reason, the AI is going to give me a hard time about it, shockingly. Okay, look up Tate Reeves. I must be sure he's Republican. I'm not even sure he's Republican. Let me find out. Republican. Yep, political party. He's Republican. Not surprised. Alrighty then. But we got that away. You got Mississippi. That's one of them. You write this down, so keep track of it. Mississippi is one. Well, more like MS. As Republican. That's one. And unfortunately, it's like behind Puerto Rico, but technically the United States, in terms of people behind below the poverty line, is Mississippi. Next is Louisiana. Go there. Who's the governor of Louisiana? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, go here. I'm going to send you a link on World Population Review. Talk about state ranking poverty rate by state. And in the way it looks confusing to go, I thought like it's not what I thought it's going to be. Mississippi. Population below the poverty line. I want to go by population though. That's another possibility. Because if you got like high enough number of people, and a lot of people is like below poverty line, that's one. By rated by state, and that's all. So you got that. Next is New Mexico. Okay. Like I said, I don't know all the governors each state, so I got to ask the Copilot AI to ask. I was going to the like top 10, so I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. So who's the governor of New Mexico? Okay, let me think of something here. Mississippi. You got Louisiana. Yep. I kind of wonder though. Those states, I bet you any money that chances are the other states are going to be might run across. I'm not going to say anything yet though, but New Mexico, I like to be surprised up there, but I'm not. But I'm going to finish up the other like 7 and then tell you my findings because I'm going like, yeah, I see a pattern here. Some people would disagree, but you can't ignore reality. You can't ignore facts. You just can't. Okay, then you got West Virginia. Okay, that's kind of surprising. Who was the governor of West Virginia? That is true. That is like a coal-producing state. And back then, if I'm correct, people tried to shut down those coal companies. Like, here's the problem with that, though. Like, a majority of people depend on these jobs, and being a coal miner pays a lot of money. You shut them down, what are you going to do? Just like you shut down the Keystone Pipeline, which is the stupidest move that this administration has done. Shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, you're going to shut down a pipeline that produces a lot of well-paying jobs. And I hear stories how the same people got shot at these jobs are not making the same money. They're working, but they're making the same amount of money they're working. It's like, well, you're not making the same amount of money, but you're still working, deal with it. No, that is just dumb. Plus, it made us oil independent. How does it look like that we help, let's say, Russia make sure they stay oil independent, they keep their oil prices down, but we're paying record oil prices? That is stupid. Stupid, stupid. But it's kind of amazing we have the technology to do all this. We have technology to send things to the outer space. We have technology to do so many things. You got to tell me you don't have the technology to burn fuel cleaner, you burn oil and gas cleaner. You can make cars super fuel efficient. You make cars burn more cleanly and all that. But now here's the thing that I'm gonna bring near the end of this, because one of the things that state try to mandate is come back to bite them behind, and the people who follow the mandate faithfully are getting punished for it. But a quick review: Mississippi poverty rate 19.58%. The population. Louisiana, 18.65% of the population is under the poverty line. You got New Mexico, 18.55% below the poverty level. West Virginia, 17.10% below poverty level. Now, I can say that like at the top 3 right off the bat is Mississippi, Louisiana, and New Mexico. Yeah, Louisiana kind of surprised, but then again, the fact that politicians, especially Democrats, are trying very hard to shut down coal, which I think is stupid, because how do you think the power plant is going to run? Like, don't get me wrong, much like I'm okay with nuclear energy, let's just find newer, more efficient and cleaner ways and more safer ways to run power plants. If you're going to go by nuclear, which makes me nervous and all that stuff, you can burn coal way more cleanly if you not be so quick to try to put them out of business. How about giving incentives to, like, you know what, if you can find a way to make coal burn more cleaner, less impact the environment, we give you this financial incentive. How about that, when instead of threatening them to shut them down? If you're given a financial incentive to have to burn coal cleaner, you'd be surprised the innovation would take place. It would be like by leaps and bounds. You do that, people gotta fight for their lives to try to keep the place open. Oh, well, sorry, I didn't get worked up early in the afternoon. I'm trying hard not to get worked up, but some of the stupidity that takes place, how people think, is nothing less than stunning. That's pure stunning to me. Okay, we got West Virginia, Kentucky. Okay, Kentucky. That's 16.6% of the population is below poverty. Okay, let's find out here. Hold a sec. God, I don't like. I gotta be careful what I ask with the AI. Be going, what? Yeah, I gotta ask the AI. Like I said, I could be asking AI like who's governor, so that way I don't be going crazy, going back and forth. Who's the governor of Kentucky? Sweet. So basically, like, originally it tended to lean Republicans, but they lost that state to a Democrat. But that's to Kentucky. We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5. We're halfway there, folks. We're halfway there. I've been running my mouth up all 30 minutes. I know you get tired of me saying, like, come on, Jeff, get with it. Yeah, I'm getting there. Calm down. Okay, next would be Arkansas. Arkansas is at 16.08 percent of the people living below poverty level. Like I say, we should be doing way better now, but the way that supposedly Bidenomics is going, yeah. The Bidenomics to me is a joke. Build Back Better is a joke. Because you make it sound you can be so much better for Donald Trump. We're still waiting. There are people who are still waiting. And it's so sad that the economic standard in the United States has fallen down so low. It's like for the high jump, you set it at 1 foot. We men from Jackass could clear that. That's pretty bad. So any bump up, it's like, oh, we're doing so great. We haven't done this great in so many decades. Stop the cap. Really, stop the cap. Stop the cap, folks. Because, like I said, when we was under Trump, we was doing great. The economy was going bonkers. More people had money in their pockets. And, overall, we were more respected and felt more secure. Donald Trump's opponents would say that Donald Trump going to have us involved in new wars. We might be in World War III. Right now, folks, we are way closer to World War III than any other time. I feel like we've entered like Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, or How to Stop Worrying and Learn to Love the Bomb. That's how bad it's getting. It's getting to that point. Because now, Russia pretty much got their finger on the button ready to press it, as well as China. They're getting really nervous. I hope, like I said, I don't want to see the nuclear war. Nobody in their right mind wants to see nuclear war unless they're super nihilistic. Okay, Arkansas, let me see who's governor there. Who's governor of Arkansas? How weird is that? Well, the key word is educated. If it's educated by college, well, guess what? If you go to college and the so-called educators want you to think more liberal instead of conservative, that's why. Then you got people who are older. They say they tend to be conservative, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay, I forgot if she was governor there, but then I think her father was Mike Huckabee. He was governor too, believe it or not, Mike Huckabee. But that's Republican. But I began to see a pattern here. Not gonna lie, I do begin to see a pattern. Alabama, the population is at 15.98% below the poverty level. So let me see, Alabama, that'd be LA, almost like AL, duh. So we go to the Copilot AI. Who's the governor of Alabama? Interesting. Okay, that sounds good. Ah, okay. She's Republican. Okay, so she became the 54th governor of Alabama, 2017. And basically, she's trying to make sure everybody's living better, basically living the quality of life for all Alabamians, which is good. Record high employment, lowest jobless rate, her focus on economic development has attracted more than $52 billion in new capital investment, creating more than 78,000 good-paying jobs. That's good, but it could be better and all that. As you try to lead Alabama to a more prosperous future through infrastructure investments and improvement of education, which is cool, you know. She's Republican, much as some people don't want to hear and all that stuff. Here we go. This one, DC, District of Columbia. And people look below. Okay, but here's the funny thing. This is weird. The population isn't all that big. The population there, District of Columbia, is like about 669,000. Yeah, 669,089. And the people who live underneath the poverty line is 103,391, which the poverty rate is at 15.45%. So my fun question, we asked the AI, who's the governor of DC? This should be interesting. Who's the governor of Washington, D.C.? Yeah, that's a different question. Who's the governor of D.C.? One more time. Who's the governor of the District of Columbia? Copa is thinking like, what? I never confused an AI before. That's a first for me. I actually confused an AI. Holy moly. Interesting. Okay, let me see what's that under. Give me a sec. I wonder. Who is Muriel Bowser? Yeah, all I'm gonna say, DC is an interesting place. That's all I'm gonna say. Interesting place indeed. Okay, next, Oklahoma. Okay, that. Who's the governor of Oklahoma? Interesting. Here we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost there, folks. Got one more. One more, and that be it. You know what? I'll go a little bit further. South Carolina. Whoops, hold on. Almost go there. We got Oklahoma. Okay, I was right. South Carolina, here we go. Who's the governor of South Carolina? Interesting. So let me go over here. I'm gonna ask real quick. Who is Henry McMaster? Interesting name. Jargon? Jargon. Jesus, Games of Thrones here. Interesting. Hmm. Let me look at something real quick before I forget. You got Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Hmm. I wonder. Okay. I think I got enough information here. Like, this is like my opinion, though. You probably gonna disagree, but I want you to think about this, folks. Here's one commonality that I kind of looked at. I can't help but notice this though. Like, states right below like poverty of about below like say 10, more than 10%. It goes as far as like you got Texas. You I guess it goes as far as you got like beyond South Carolina, you got Tennessee, which is at 14.62%, Georgia, which is at 14.28, Texas itself, which has a bigger population at 14.22, Arizona at 14.12. But here's the key ones. The last two, like Georgia and Arizona. Now, I'll go with other places too that have higher population, though. Like, for example, hold a sec. Here we go. Like the states that not doing so bad. Okay, overall United States population in terms of below poverty is at 13.15% below poverty, which is, in other words, we are not doing good. In fact, I'm going to ask them one simple question. 13.5. What percentage of the population in the United States was under poverty under Donald Trump's administration? They don't know. Hmm. How is the economy under Donald Trump when he served as president? That's true. It's not like he got the United States in good condition. The United States is in rough condition, and he got to make do what he has. Like, it's easy to blame the last administration that he tried to make do, but he made a lot of strides to fix this country. And the sad part, though, is that he would never get the credit for it. Never. He's a screw up. He's a screw up. Meanwhile, people try to tell Biden knob is working. Yeah, it's working, but not for the American people. You know what Biden is working for? He's working for the illegal migrants who are sneaking in this country. And yes, that's the hell going to die on when it comes to illegal migrants. It's kind of funny to look towards Kamala Harris as a future leader. She didn't do a thing as the border czar. Yes, I'm going there. She didn't do a thing as a border czar. And the funny thing is, in one breath, people say she's a border czar. She could do something with the border because she's a border czar. And the next breath, everybody's backtracking. Oh, we didn't say she's a border czar. But meanwhile, earlier, you've been on video, on TV, saying like she's the border czar. There's video evidence that Biden made her the border czar. If she didn't take responsibility and take care of the border as VP, you think she's going to change as president? Oh, I'm sorry, she could pass on to Tom What's-His-Face. Yeah, sure. The same guy who sent people with cops acting like the Gestapo for the Nazis, shooting people with paintball guns, and they'll get in the house during curfew. It's one thing that out on the streets rioting, causing destruction. These people happen to be in their porches, and they were told to get inside the houses. Are you serious? And that video footage I saw, I wanted there's more of it, and I'm probably gonna look more. There's more of that video evidence of the cops acting like that. I was like, find it shocking. I think there's no way. I said before, I say it again. Someone could be violently hurt. Could have been a child. Could have been a baby. Could have been shot with those paintball guns and all that. That's just insane. And still kind of haunts when I hear the words "light them up." Like, wow. But people say like, "Oh, Kamala Harris got this." Like, you sure about that? You sure about that? It goes to what I said before in one of my videos. It's like electing the fox to take care of the hen house, and then the fox said, "Yeah, I'll become a vegetarian." Right. I'm gonna say this much, America: if you're naive enough to elect Kamala Harris and know the track record is downright shocking and appalling, and when you turn around and realize the economy is getting worse than better, the question you can ask yourself: do you hate Trump that much that you do what they call cut your nose to spite your face? Do you hate the United States that much? Trump is perfect? No. Question is, are you perfect? Exactly. You make it sound like, are you a perfect saint? Are you a perfect angel? Not by a long shot. You have some traits, but drive people crazy. Am I a perfect human being? Not by a long shot. I'll be the world's biggest liar ever say I'm perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect, and I am not afraid to admit that. There's some people think like, they know what they're doing, they know what they're saying. You got people come and say, I'm more educated than you. Yeah, who taught you? What political field have of that in? My thing is this, though. They're supposed to teach you to think for yourselves, not like them. If you got a liberal teacher who wants you to think like a liberal, you're no longer thinking for yourself. You're no longer making choices for yourself. You're making choices to please the person. You're making choices to try to emulate the person. What about the simple, like, whatever information you got, and then make up your mind instead of just trying to become another sheep, another follower? How about be an individual and be your own person? Simple as that. Overall, what's my point here? People say like it's a Republican problem that the poverty level is so high. Not really, because I could look at it like I said to say this. Like, even though let's see, in the South, let's face facts. In the South, it's mostly Republican, but it's kind of right. In the South, there's mostly slavery there back in the day, but those states was not Republican. Now, the problem they changed all that. So you got how many Republican states which belong at high poverty? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Now, people make it sound like places like New York, New Jersey, they're doing great, right? Wrong. I can promise you this, they're not doing all that great. That I can promise you. Give me a moment. This is what it shows here. Here's some notable finds. Like I said, the highest poverty rates, California, over 4 million people, 4.7 million people living below poverty. Why California? Because they have a higher population. You know, like I said, the one I look by is go by share percentage. This one here go by population. Texas, 4.1 million people struggling with poverty. That's true too. Florida, 2.8 million people facing economic hardship. They deal with poverty. New York, do we really gotta go there? 2.6 million individuals below the poverty line. And New York is ridiculously, have ridiculously high taxes. So I'm not surprised. And this confirms the state I'm in. Ohio and Pennsylvania. Both states have more than 1.5 million people living in poverty. Facts. But here's the one thing I see here. States with lower poverty. Maryland, Utah, and New Hampshire. But here's the thing, though. California, Democrat. Texas, Florida, Republican. New York, Democrat. Pennsylvania, I think, is Democrat. Ohio. I'm going to ask these last few questions. So I got to be quiet for a while and just think about this. Let's see. Who's the governor of Ohio? Okay, he's Republican. And Pennsylvania. I know who the governor is, but I want to put it on her record. Who's the governor of Pennsylvania? Of course, Democrat. Okay, in terms of, here we go. Got Maryland, New Hampshire. Data pandas. That's different. Women with Virginia, Kentucky, Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, South Carolina, Michigan. Yep. Yeah, I'm right. Glad you got New Hampshire. Poverty level. Okay, basically New Hampshire's doing good. Utah's doing good. And Minnesota's doing good. So basically, the guys who like below, let's find the lowest 10%ers who were like below 10%. Here we go. I'm going on here. See, just text me. Okay, the ones who are below 10%, you got North Dakota, Nebraska, Washington. You got Washington State, Virginia, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Colorado, New Jersey, Minnesota, Hawaii. There's got Maryland and New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey's doing good. Cool. Colorado's not doing too bad. Cool. But this is the pattern I see. But here's my final, like I said right here, like the border states, like say New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, they're going to be impacted by the situation with the border situation. You're not going to tell me if you're not being affected. Yes, it is. You got all the resources being pulled from them, going to the illegal aliens, immigrants, migrants. Yeah, they're going to be affected. So I'm not surprised states like, especially Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, in some cases Texas, in some cases Arizona, they're going to be affected. Now, questions like these other states where it's like below 10%, I'm wondering how much impact did the illegal migrants have up there? That's a good question. Question, did these governors let these illegal migrants come up there? That's a very good question. Overall, it's not so much like a Republican Democrat thing. It's not a political party thing. Anybody who's like struggling with economically, you know, it's up to the people to vote for the right politicians to get them out of these situations and all that. You know, if you keep voting for the same person who gave you the same results, that's on you. You have a right to demand, like, look, our economic situation is very bad. You got to do something about it. Simple as that. Data Panda, I didn't realize they have such a thing. Interesting. Like I said, I saw the information about Facebook. It makes it sound like just purely just red states. No, it's like a lot of states. Don't get me wrong. You still got places like Kentucky, New Mexico, and DC that has economic difficulties and all that. But all in all, if you think that if elected Kamala Harris, that could make it go away, that's a joke. The one thing that I talked about last time, I believe it might have been like last week, I think, it's about she could solve the housing crisis in 1 year. That is pure cap. No way. Now, as you talk about the illegal migrants, it tries to cheaper houses, cheaper rent. Oh, yeah. That I believe. As for everybody else, as for people who are like struggling in Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kentucky, West Virginia, don't hold your breath, folks. Don't hold your breath. You'll be waiting for a long time. She might throw you some crumbs if you're lucky. But the same person who didn't do squat as voters are, what make it think she's doing it better for these other states? And heaven bids that these states are run by Republican governors? Yeah. So we need a president who will really try to do their best to fix this. Now, I can almost guarantee you, like say, when Trump is elected president, I can promise you that the Democrats are going to move heaven, earth, and make a bargain with hell to try to make Trump's life miserable. And I can almost guarantee you they can make anybody who supported Trump life a nightmare. They got this attitude like, how dare you elect an outsider? This outsider did more for this country with the short years he was here than most of you politicians did most of your political career. It's a shame that, you know, that people made it look like, you know, total outcasts because they want to pick somebody who will actually get the job done. You don't have to agree with Trump's personality. You don't have to like Trump. If the guy gets the job done, let him do his job. Simple as that. But I've never seen where, you know, that a certain political force, and I mean not just Democrats, also some Republicans move so hard to try to get rid of somebody. Somebody tries to say, well, like, for example, the person who shot Trump, well, he's Republican. Doesn't matter because I think his parents were libertarian. And like I said before, there were other Republicans who was on board of seeing Trump impeached. There was even like a clip with Nancy Pelosi praising these people, praising these Republicans who wants to impeach Trump. Are you serious? Praising them? I'd say flip the script. Like, say you got some Democrats who's ready to impeach, like, say, Biden or Kamala Harris. Oh my goodness, they would be taken to the back and probably get taken out. But I digress. But like I said, I'm pretty much done with this political rant right now. If you have any questions, do not be afraid to talk about it. Let me get to someone here. It's called Data Pandas. There's a such thing, Data Pandas. Yeah, is an icon of a panda. That's hilarious. Let me include that one in here too. The reality is not so much just Republican, Democrat, red, blue, conservative, liberal problem. It's a problem for everybody. It's everyone's problem. Like, you know, it's like, look at California. People say California is doing great, blah, 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 but look at the population. A good number of the population, over 4 million people, are living in poverty because living in California is stupid expensive. In fact, if I heard the story correctly, though, so many people own electric cars there. So many people own electric cars that the gas tax, the money is drying up because less and less people are driving combustion engines. You see the price of gas there? It's frightening. In fact, let me click on this one here. I'm going to ask the AI one more thing. What's the average price of gas in California? Okay, the highest is June 14, 2022, $6.44 for regular electric gas. Regular. What? But $4.59 is not too bad. Right. But yet, everybody's forced to get electrical vehicles. Number one, where did electricity come from, folks? Please tell me where electricity come from. And don't say lightning. That'd be kind of cool. If somehow they could find a way to capture the power of electricity from lightning, we'd be okay if they could find a way. Until that day comes, yeah, keep dreaming. But you don't need those coal plants to make electricity. But here's the part that kind of scares me a bit. And tell me if I'm wrong. They have a way to control how much electricity you're working. But now they got something called like kill switches to vehicles, like at some given point, they can stop your car from moving. Then they say that's supposed to be originally to stop people from who's going to be drinking, driving, something like that, fine, and all that. But the fact the government overreach, the possibility is there. I'm sorry. We're getting way too close to the George Orwell era. Look up George Orwell. You think I'm kidding? Yeah, seriously, look up George Orwell. In fact, when I'm thinking about it, who was George Orwell? Once upon a time, when those books came out, people thought that he was joking. He was being, paranoid, but the way things going with technology, the ability to be able, it's kind of funny though. They lose track of billions of dollars going to other countries, like say Iran, I'm saying to Iraq and all that stuff. They lose track of all that money going to Iran. They lose money going to the Ukraine. But for some reason, they can track down to the nearest cent that I spend, and I shouldn't be a little paranoid. Folks, there's only one thing worse than being paranoid, and that's being right about what you think, especially about certain politicians. So if you could get a book, any book from George Orwell, I think I got a copy of 1984. I'm going to try to start reading that one. If not, I might read the audio. I might have easy time dealing with that. But overall, if you can find the book 1984 by George Orwell, pick it up. In fact, you got George Orwell, Animal Farm, but the dystopian novel, keywords, dystopian novel, 1984. If I'm a betting man, I think California is awfully close to being a dystopian state. Very close. It is possibly like a zombie apocalypse away from that happening. And sad part, like I like to be joking about it, but no, seriously, yeah. I hear stories like while I drove a friend of mine and her daughter to Philadelphia, they talk about there's these junkies that actually resemble like zombies and all that. I hear so many like crazy stories about it. And kind of scary though. What if, God forbid, they got some new form of COVID and these zombie junkies caught COVID? Yeah. The living dead will actually become a reality. Yeah, they give you something to digest and all that. Okay, I think I taught you folks enough already. You're probably going like, come on, Jeff, really? But I'm sorry, it's not a red problem. It's not a blue problem, not Democrat, Republican. It's everyone's problem. Plain and simple. And last thing, though, in terms of election, people say, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. Or I'll vote this way, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. Some people say, like, I want to vote for Kamala Harris. The reality is the problem is not yours because it has that be knocking on your door. The moment that the problem be knocking on your door literally, yeah, then you would realize, like, whoa, maybe I should make a better decision. I want you to keep this in mind that we got one shot at this. And don't get me wrong, though. You're free to do whatever you want, to pick whoever you want. But I say go by the person's track record. Donald Trump's economic track record cannot be denied. I don't care how many get. It's pretty rough when CNN had no choice but to report that the economy is doing great under Trump. It had to hurt. It hurt their pride. But now, as of lately, CNN had to voice but to tell the truth. Now they try to, try to build up the base, try to get the base all jacked up, say, oh, we got Kamala Harris. But are you sure you want to get behind that pony? You got one pony that's old enough to be taken to the glue factory, which is Sleepy Joe, and you're gonna place it with the one person who one of the first people who quit doing, her run, try to become president. And her and Sleepy Joe have beef. Now suddenly they're frenemies. Yeah. It turns like trying to solve the housing crisis to help the people who have a problem getting a house or rent. Where were you as VP? You should have done that already. If you seen that problem right there today, you should have been done that. Not saying, well, I'll become president. You should have done that as VP. Come on. But folks, like I said, I'm going to end this now because quite simply, I got, let's say I got some things coming up in about a few hours. I'll get ready for that one. But I want to thank you for anybody who stopped by, who are riding dice. And with that being said, I say good.